Happy July, everybody. I will take you on a garden tour before the weather gets too hot. In the front bed here, we've got some oregano and then my lemon mint. In between somewhere is thyme. Ooh, they're flowering. I'll have to give the thyme a little space so it can spread out a little bit. There's my lovely comfrey. I chopped a lot of it off, and I want to save the flowers because there's a cute little bee. I don't know if you can see it. Cute little bee hanging out on those lovely pink flowers. This is a sweet Annie that I got from my parents' house, and I had to chop it back a real lot. And I wasn't sure that it was going to make it, but here it is. And then in the back are those are two sorrel plants that I planted. I think they're supposed to be perennial, so I'm putting them back in this bed and hopefully they will stay there. These are my peppers in a bucket. The one on the very end is the bell pepper. Then I have jalapeno, cayenne, banana pepper, and I don't remember if I bought another pepper or not. This one here is one that lived from last year. I think it's a Santa Fe Grand. And then this other one right here is a jalapeno, and it survived from last year. Right here in the middle of these is, that's my loofah gourd growing in that bucket. And then I have an eggplant growing in the next bucket. In case you're wondering, this nice, lovely silver stuff is Silver King Artemisia, something along those lines. Down in this little hideaway here is the rhubarb that I got from Robin Roseanne. And I don't know if that's going to show up in there. There's a dragonfly. Where'd he go? A dragonfly right there. My asparagus is at the time of year where it is out of control, which is pretty normal for this time of year. Then we go over to one of my first raised beds, and I've got pumpkins. I put the pumpkins there at the very end. Down in the bottom here, I've got, oh, those are showing pretty big. Those are cinnamon basil. And then I've got, in that container is some onions. I don't know how well they're going to do. These this is a banana pepper, I think. Oh, you know what? I got poblano peppers too. I forgot I had poblanos. I think this one is a jalapeno. And yeah, so the poblano was the other one that I bought. This might be a banana too. I'll have to wait and see. Oh, look at that. That one's a banana pepper. And there's one over there. Let me see the pepper on that. These are cayenne. Got some nice cayennes. This down inside here is holy basil or tulsi. Then I have a rosemary there. Some celery. Then I have my determinate tomatoes. They are just huge. Yesterday I cut the leaves back. I don't cut a lot of stems off of the determinates because they only have a set amount of fruit that they'll produce, so I don't chop anything off as far as growth, because I don't want to hinder them having any producing any fruit. And on this side of the trellis, I've got little flowers down there. I've got some cucumbers coming up on this side, and they're actually starting to come up the trellis. I've clipped them up to the trellis. And the ones on this side of the trellis have been clipped up too, and there's flowers on some of them. I've got some pickling cucumbers. I've got some Armenians. I have a regular green Armenian here on the end, and then I have an Armenian white next to it. And I've got, on this side is National Pickling cucumbers. The other side has Ashley and Boston Pickler. Coming around to this bed, I've got my calendula. It is getting ready to open, and then I have all of my indeterminate tomatoes on this, in this bed, on these it's kind of a trellis on this fence, and I chopped them way back yesterday. They were hanging over and looking pretty scary, and the bed was all full and you couldn't see anything in there, so I chopped them way back and I've clipped them. I use these little clips that I got on Amazon, and they work really well to clip these guys up. This one, I don't know, you can see the tomatoes on that one. I think it's a cherry of some sort. This one here, maybe a Dr. White Cheese. I am not really sure. I, of course, didn't tag anything as I planted them in here. And in between, I've got a tiny little regular basil in there. I've got rosemary, another basil. I think these might be San Marzano. Either that or Opalka. Some more rosemary. There is another in that container, another basil growing up in there. And I've got celery. We'll go around to the other side because I've got some exciting tomatoes. This, I think, I believe, I gotta get around the leaves on these. I think these are mushroom basket. That's a new variety that I got this year. We'll see how those do. And I know at this end of the bed I have my alpaca because I forgot it. I've got this holy basil or tulsi. Those are ones that were in the house that overwintered, and they're looking really good. I got some more celery and other basils growing in between. I have some more basils in the house that I want to bring out here. These guys right here are amaranth. I grew them up in my upper garden last year, and they I don't think they're going to regrow this year up there, but I think I'm going to do away with that garden up there because it's out of control. I'll bring you guys up there. All I have up there now is potatoes. We'll come around, give you another view of this bed right here. The pumpkins are beginning to hang over the edge, and I'll just need to put something down on the ground to keep them from attaching into the ground and to mulch the ground. In this bed, I've got my summer squash. I've got the two green summer squash right here, the green zucchinis, and then I have a yellow zucchini. This one it's not really in the middle, but closer to the middle. That one never really grew very well. I'm not really sure what happened with it, but the other one next to it is perfect. It does have a little bit of yellowing leaves on it, but I'm not going to worry about it at this point in time. On the inside of the trellis are my winter squashes. I have butternut, those are the smaller ones, and then the buttercup are the ones that are vining up the trellis. And then on the other side here is, towards this end is the kabocha. And then these on this side that are beginning to trellis up pretty well, those are my spaghetti squash. We come around to the other side of these beds, and I have my ground cherries that were coming up from last year. I've got 4 good plants that I have in here, and it is amazing how much is growing and how fast everything is growing. I'll show you guys in a second, because I think my last video was around May. It was around Memorial Day that I did my last video, and I had just barely planted my beans, and this is one of the beds of beans that I grew, and these weird shaped ones with the weird leaves, those are the garbanzo beans. They're not doing super well, but the other beans that are in here are doing pretty well, and I see there looks like something's possibly digging in this garden. But these are green and yellow beans and garbanzos in here. And the biggest change that I notice is on the other side. And come around to here. Look at this bed. The front half of this bed is my popcorn and the shelling beans, the hard beans that I grew last year and I planted in this bed. So there are a white bean, a black bean, and black-eyed peas. And of course, the corn is growing up in here. And the corn is popcorn, so it's gonna hang out until fall. Now the other half of this bed, I've got some radishes. I've got a little bit of chard. I've got some beets on this side, and then I've got a couple squares, three squares of either yellow or green beans in the middle. And then on the other side of this bed, I have more radishes. I do have some carrots that have begun to come up. And then I've got some lettuce. We come around to this bed. I've had things attacking stuff in this bed, and I don't know, maybe it's voles. It looks like they're digging up a lot of stuff in this bed, and I mulched it yesterday. I've got my 2 jicama. They're not doing really awesome, and I think they just don't like growing in this climate, but I figured they liked humidity, and it's quite humid around here, at least right now anyway. On the other side, I've got my cucamelons coming, and I hope they do something. Finally, I'll back up so you guys can check this out. Finally, I've got all of my peas coming up. And of course, I don't remember, actually what I should do is watch the pea video when I planted them. I might have said which ones are where, because I don't remember which ones went where over here, and the stickers, the tape that I had written on them fell off. I believe this really, really, really tall variety here is the tall telephone. I'm just assuming because they're so tall. And then I have, I think these were some kind of snap pea, but they're not really growing. This one here is growing peas, but I'll have to see what I have over here. And these I think might be the sweet gem that I have, because these peas on this side of the trellis are getting pretty fat. I have ones over here I've been picking on this side. A lot of, I think these might be the blizzard, but I'm gonna have to go back and look at what my other video had in it, because I've had picked a lot of good snow peas off of these, and these peas are not getting fat at all. They're just staying skinny. So I think they're the snow peas. I think I only had one variety of snow pea, but I'm not really sure what the tall telephone is. Now, around the other side of this bed, I've got three lovely cabbages. They're not overly eaten by bugs too badly, and they're just sprouting up like crazy. Then I have some onions in between them. This broccoli plant is dying. That's parsley that my parents gave me. This is another broccoli plant that needs to be chopped back, but I've already cut broccoli off of it, so it should be fine. I've got some chard hanging out there that I just planted the other day it was hanging on the porch. And the only melons that survived being attacked by whatever the animal was that was coming in here was the watermelon here, which is good. I didn't have any watermelon last year, so I'll be interested to see what's going to come of it. This is one of those peas, a little breakfast snack out here in the garden. On this side, I believe these are all Brussels, and I do have onions growing up in between them. And I think, yeah, these look like they're all Brussels. I thought I had some cauliflower, but apparently they didn't survive so well. And I think from the other side you can see it on the other side, there is an eggplant that I grew in there, but it's pretty well hidden by the Brussels and the peas. On this side, oh, look at that onion back up in there. It's getting nice and big. I've got my garlic. I'm gonna have to Google when to pick them, because they are getting brown on the tips of their leaves, and I did cut back the scapes off of them. And then I'll show you guys back over here. That is an eggplant hiding in there. I don't know how well it'll do, but I know that the one in the bucket has flowers already. So this one, I don't know how it'll do, but it's fine. Then I've got some peppers here. That one is a cayenne. Then I have a jalapeno. And I don't know what this one is. Poblano. That one is a poblano and banana. Then I've got an okra over here on the corner. And I come around and there's another little okra down there. They're not doing super great. That okra does have a flower though. This is how we get to the upper garden. And this is tick infested up here. Every time I come up here, I get at least one, if not more, on me. I just got the lawnmower going yesterday. It's been broken for a while. I was gonna mow some stuff up here. There's a lot of mint up here. I really love that I can pick the spearmint that's all that there. But the problem is the grass is almost as tall as me up here. I didn't really do much up in this garden. In front of me, I've got some wild ground cherries. I'm gonna let those grow and then pick those and see how they are. They were there last year and I don't know if I picked any or not. And then over here in these boxes, I've got a bunch starting to come up. I've got my potatoes. I did put some potatoes in these boxes, but they were not chitted, so they are not coming up. And so I'm guessing that that's all I'm going to get for potatoes is what's coming out of those two boxes over there. And I need to hill them up. I need to do that pretty soon so that they will produce some more. They look like they're getting ready to flower. There's one hanging out right there outside of the box, and that was one that apparently was left in the ground last year and is growing up. Beautiful flowers on my eggplant.